Now, I invited a few of our consultants who are currently working in projects with our clients, and I wanted them to share their experiences, especially for those who are about to finish the program. We have these guys that I've invited today. These are people who went through this program, by the way, because we have very new people here. They went through the same program. They are working out there as consultants. They are doing well. So I wanted to maybe for them to say a word or two to encourage you guys. It's good to hear from people who have succeeded already, right? So I decided let me invite them, and they didn't even know why I was inviting them. So I just wanted them to just say something and just encourage you guys and tell you exactly what it is out there. And you guys can ask questions to them, right? What goes on there, how is life there working as an RPA consultant. So it's a chance for you guys to ask some of those questions. Anyways, so to start us off, let me give Ben a chance to talk. Ben.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Bob, and nice to meet you all virtually, students. Paul, I didn't know you wanted to start with me. I mean, Bob, but hey, Paul, nice to also hear from you in a while.
Hey Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah,
Great, great.
yeah,
So
just wanted to take a
yeah,
minute. I don't know how much time I have, but I will not take too much time because I see we have a large class here. Just to encourage the.
No, just you have maybe 5 minutes. Just
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I see we have quite a crowd here. So my name is Ben, and I've been a business analyst, not specifically in RPA. Prior to that, I was just a regular business analyst in the telecommunications industry, AT&T specifically, where I wrote requirements, I owned requirements, and pretty much worked with big, small teams, waterfall, agile, different kind of teams. So again, that's the space I've been until I joined Bob's program. I would say over an year ago, and since then I've worked on multiple projects under Bob's guidance, and then I kind of veered off now into consulting. So now I'm doing what I was doing for Bob more on a consultative manner. So this space is for people that are ready to listen, because you're going to be getting information from a lot of people. As I said, you're part of a team, whether it's a project manager, the scrum master, the project sponsor, or the product owner, the developers. So you should be able to listen and then effectively communicate, whether it's those documentations that you are putting together. I know Paul has done a good job for those that have been in the course. It could be the PDD, could be the SDD, or whatever document that you're working with in conjunction with the team. So listening is strive to be great listeners, capture any level of detail, because if you miss some details, then it might translate into either an incorrect requirement or assumption, and then you would have to redo some work down the road. So listening is very, very key, and I would just try to encourage you that Bob and team are very generous with their time, so make sure you take time to come to these Wednesday sessions. They're open for questions and clarifications that you may have, during the week. So it's worth your time. It is really a great industry, as you know. Business is always gonna be there. Technology is gonna be there. So you're the middleman. So you're the ones making it happen. So you are pretty much translating what the business wants and being part of those technology solutions. So that's where your role is, listening to the business and then translating those requirements into something that the developers can understand and build upon. So you guys are in the right place. That one I can assure you. And there's jobs out there. So it's a great career. So don't feel discouraged. Sometimes you might not understand things, but there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet too, as Bob earlier indicated. UiPath is very generous with their tools, so there's a lot of material out there you guys can check out, and so you're never alone. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you can look up and, at least understand. So I'm a great talker. I love talking, but that's it for now. And good luck, guys.
Wow, thank you so much, Ben. Thanks for those insights. I hope someone, believe someone has taken note of that. So let's move to Purity. Purity, please have a word with the team. Thank you.
Hey guys, good evening. I think I'm the only lady here. What has happened to the females? Anyway, yeah, so my name is Purity Otieno. Yeah, so I don't have that much experience as Ben. Before I started the program, I had just graduated with my MBA in finance. That's been my background. But then I moved to New York thinking that, I would make it big, being a financial hub, but that didn't happen. So I reached out to Bob, and Bob has really been, walking me through this journey throughout, like since I've been in the US. He's really been encouraging me. So he encouraged me to pursue this course. I took the training also, and it wasn't easy for me while I was taking the training, to be honest. I had to dedicate, like because I had to work during the day, and at night, that's when I would take the training, or sometimes while I'm working, I have my earphones on and listen to the training. So I was desperate, to be honest, when I was taking this training. So I gave it my best, at the time. Bob wouldn't think so. But I did the mock interview, and Bob was very patient with me. Sometimes, I wouldn't perform, especially in the mock interview. I wouldn't do as well as, I would have hoped for, but Bob was patient, and he would continue training me, and I would continue reviewing the notes. And eventually I got my first project. And to be honest, it was a nightmare the first few weeks. I was lost, and it was in the healthcare industry. I wasn't familiar with the industry at all. And they were using so many vocabularies, in the healthcare industry, Medicare, Medicaid. I had heard of those things, but I didn't know how they worked. And of course, they were using other abbreviations like PV or Purity. You have to pull the CVC or, something like that. So to be honest, it wasn't really easy for me in the first few weeks. And I wasn't sure that I was going to last, to be honest. So I was mostly on the call with Bob. I would call Paul. I would call Sam, who had worked with the organization previously. But I can tell you that, you just have to be very, very confident in the things that you say, in your own presentation skills. I'm naturally a confident person. I can say something, very confidently that you would believe it, even if I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. So I think that really worked for me here. And also I have very supportive colleagues. One of them had been with the company for a while, so he was able to help me through the process. You just get into the company and just find that one person who can be patient with you, because what you'll notice is some people really don't know what is, like, you would think they're geniuses and they know 100% and nothing. But once you start talking to people, you'll realize that everybody's just trying to figure things out, because RPA hasn't really been in the industry for so long. And for me, luckily, they have just implemented the program within the organization. So they're still revising it and improving on it. So I'm along the journey there. And the things that you're actually learning and you propose to them, they'll find it very useful. Like when you get there and you've taken this training very seriously, they'll be able to see that you're actually a professional and you can be able to use that to your advantage. So basically what worked for me was actually this training. I reviewed the notes, that Paul mentioned. Listen to Paul, everything he's saying, because he's an expert, and there are not many experts out there. So when you use his expertise and you propose some of these things to the organization, they really gain confidence in you, and you're basically able to survive as you learn as well. I don't know if that makes sense. So you basically find survival tactics in the beginning until you're very confident in yourself and in the organization and in the projects that you're working on. So that has been my experience so far. I've only been 4 months in right now. And the other thing is the turnover is very high also. If they don't believe in you, they'll quickly let you go. They don't laugh, they don't joke. So when you're learning, you see many of your colleagues are here today, but they're not there tomorrow, because they're very quick to figure out if you know nothing, or if you know something, that's what I'm saying. You really have to bring in your best from the very beginning. Show them that, you're not new to the business analysis thing, but you're willing to learn and you're a fast learner, because they know you're also new and they know there's a learning curve also, especially in my organization. There's a big learning curve and everybody's aware of it. Like, it can take you 2 months to learn something, but the pressure is also there. They want you to learn, but to also deliver. And there's nobody within the industry to show you around. You just have to identify your own person. You won't find like that formal training you're normally used to, where you have 2 weeks and they tell you this stuff about the organization and this about the responsibilities you're doing. They look at you as an expert, basically. They're looking at you as a consultant. So when you're there is when you'll actually know what being a consultant really means, because they're looking for, and you're working with leadership, the leadership level. You're not working with junior people. So it's the leadership level who are looking at your expertise, and they want you to advise them on how to take a particular process and how to automate it to the very end. So that is where you have to take the training really, really seriously. And so that is it for me. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, and it's going to be okay. So don't think that, don't freak out at all. It's a learning curve, but just stay confident and keep on learning.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Purity. Just to add to what Purity has said, I can be very pushy when it comes to trying to push you out there and do your best, especially when it comes to preparing for the exams and mocks and also job interviews. I think even Levi by now knows that, because I used to speak on Purity a lot, and she would be like, "Oh, Bob, I was so prepared, but now."
Oh my God, Bob was hard on me sometimes. We would yell at each other. Yeah. He was yelling at me, and I'm wondering why all this pressure. Yeah.
Now you know, right?
Now I know. My God, now I know, and I'm so grateful that you did that. Because for me, I was just trying to hack it the way you hack like in college, where you just want to pass something.
Yeah.
But now this is practical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. I always say, like, if it was easy, everybody would be out there doing it, right? So, but if you have the right attitude and you're smart, you're fine. You should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to Sam. Sam Mokio, please.
Thank you, Bob. Hi, everyone, and nice to meet you virtually. So I'll just give a brief background about myself and how I found myself here. So actually, my background is in banking. Worked for many years as a banker. Then, eventually I saw this RPA space, and having spoken to different people, I was encouraged to try it, and here I am today. So just to encourage someone out there who is, who's never been into this IT space or consulting space, it doesn't really matter. If you're ready to, to give it a try, and you're ready for a new challenge and opportunity, just go for it. So I did my training sometimes last year, but one. Then last year I got my first project, did it for a while. Then I moved to a second one that I am currently doing. And I would like to just encourage you and advise you guys that, this whole program that Bob and Upstack have put together is something that is very, informational. You really learn a lot. But beyond that, you really also have to do your own research and keep on learning more, because as you will gradually understand, this IT industry is very huge and it's very dynamic. There's so many changes that take place. There's always something, new to learn. But the beauty is, everything is out there. It's just about you trying to figure it out. So it's you're in a very good place with this program, and just take it seriously. Again, Paul is a very good teacher. I mean, he's quite a let me call him a well of knowledge, and easy to reach out to whenever you feel like you want some more insight on something. He's someone who's readily available and will be able to guide you. So, two things I want you guys to take home tonight is one, be very eager to learn. Like I said, there's so much to learn out there. This IT space, I mean, it's very dynamic, keeps on changing. And two, once you learn and you're done with the program and you get into projects and start working, I think one thing that has worked for me is get to know your strength and leverage on that. So just to echo, for example, what Purity has said, Purity knows from what she just said, she knows her strength is her confidence. So once you know what your strength is and you leverage in that, it really makes your life easy as you interact with people that you're working with out there. And maybe finally, if you are in a position to embrace working as a team, because through people you also get to learn so much. So if you embrace such values like teamwork and some discipline, I mean, those will get you far. So I wish you well as those who are beginning, and for the gentleman who's done with the cause and is ready to go out there, go out, face the world with confidence, and you will make it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks for that. Let's get to, who is this? Joseph, please.
Thank you, Bob. Hi, everyone. So I'm Joseph, and I think, okay, I'm the last, I think I'm the newest in the field. But on the other hand, I've been with Bob for quite some time now. I started off with Oracle, I think like almost 2 years ago. And when I was studying Oracle, like I didn't have like the whole picture, because like I used to have all these sorts of excuses, I'm working, I'm doing everything. And when I realized that now the program is coming to an end, that's when I took the work seriously and trying to cover everything at the last minute. So it's not like I failed, but I did good, but I felt like I didn't do my best. And that is the best thing that happened to me, feeling that I didn't do my best. So when I was coming to RPA, I came in full force. I had already tested the market out there, because the interviews are the same. They're not easy. They're just, I'll say they're challenging, because both platforms are very wide. Like everybody has said, you can never learn enough. You can't say that I'm ready now, because every time like Bob asks you like whether you're ready for the interview, you always feel that you're not ready. And then Bob used to he tells us every time, you can never be ready. So the best thing to do is to make sure that whatever like is taught in class, because Paul is very experienced, that is enough like to give you a boost, like to go to the market. Like if you master everything and you get the concepts that Paul is teaching you, and then you do a little bit of more on the side, like on YouTube, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube and Google, and because you can never get ready. So all you need is confidence, because when you get to the field, everything is different. Like if all of us like present our projects, it's different. it's not the same. So you can never get ready for a project, because you can go to a project, to a client, and find that the roles that have been assigned to you are completely different. The applications they're using are different. The systems they're using, they're all different. And then you start learning. So all you need is the basic background. So once you feel like you're ready with the classwork and everything, you're good to go. But again, I will say that from my point of view, it's not bread and butter, but it's doable, because you can see like we are like 5 of us, and the other people out there who have done it. So all you need is confidence, and make sure whenever you take the client interviews, never to tell a client that you don't know. If they ask you a question, you don't say that you don't know. It's better to give an answer that is close to the answer, but don't say that you don't know. So like always have the confidence. That's how you pass the client interview. Otherwise, I wish you all the best in the training, and I'm sure that each and every one of us are going to have a different story in the next few months. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Joseph. Yeah, so this journey, it's not always like easy for everybody. So like Joseph said, he started off with the Oracle. Then I could clearly see that he was smart, but I always kept pushing him. And I think also he felt challenged, because also one of the students that he was with, she got a job as a consultant, and she's working somewhere with one of Big Four. And I think also he felt like challenged at that point, and he was like, I think I need now to get into RPA. So I'm glad he joined RPA, and right now he's working somewhere doing amazingly well. These are the, I mean, I think I'm done with this, the people that I wanted to talk to you guys and just give you you know, some insights of exactly what it is out there. I know a lot of you ask so many questions whether you can succeed. Maybe you may not ask me or ask Paul, but deep in you, you are like, okay, is what I'm doing, is it, am I gonna be successful? Is there anyone out there who's gone through the same thing? So I just felt like, you know what, I think I can get a few of them who are working out there, especially in RPA, and they can come and maybe talk to you and give you some morale, so yeah, it's doable. All you need to do is just push hard. For me, I don't like people who just take things for granted, like, just thinking that you're gonna succeed and that you are doing nothing. Like, I push you, like, seriously. Like, when you hear me say, like, you come to my mock interview and you don't pass, I can't take you further. That's what it is. It's what it is. Because see, like Purity was saying, like, you have to go out there and actually do the job, you know. So I mean, if you don't prove yourself in our mock interview, how will you prove yourself at the job, you know? So you have to be good. You have to show that you're good. And the only way that you can be able to show that is actually by passing our mock interview. You don't pass the mock interview, it just means you're not good enough, period. Okay? So you guys work hard, work hard. Me, I love people who work hard. I can, if I see you're good, you're working hard, I'm ready to work with you. But if I see you're slacking, because everybody who is here, they have the brains and all that, I don't want to deal with you. No one wants to deal with someone like you. You'll go there and then you get fired the following day. I'd rather you still stick to your current job, whether it pays you whatever it's paying you and you don't like. You'd rather be in that job than go out there and then get fired after 1 month. Because like Purity was saying, there's a very high turnover, because this is IT. The expectation is that you can deliver. Everybody is smart. You're dealing with smart people. You can imagine now you go to a project and you are dealing with Paul is your solution architect, right? It's the same thing. And maybe I'm your lead, right? We won't entertain bullshit. So that's why you have to be good. Like, you have to be smart and confident, you know. This confidence thing, I keep talking about it like all the time. Okay, so it's very, very important that you understand that. The only way that you can expand your knowledge on what Paul is giving us is basically to do a lot of your own research. You go to UiPath, you learn. YouTube, there's a lot of information on YouTube. There's a lot of free information in there. Okay, don't just rely on Paul. You know, he's giving us good information and all that, but you also need to, you know, you have to be resourceful yourself. Okay, and the more, even as like Joseph, it got to a point where initially Joseph, when he was like in the market, I think he only failed one interview, and then the other one he got it. And at some point before even he did that interview, I could clearly see that the kind of questions that he was asking, they are like really, really good questions. And I asked him, like, how come, Joseph, now you are like asking these really good questions in the you know, in the training? And he's like, Bob, I've been like on YouTube like every single day. Like I've watched every video on RPA on YouTube. You imagine that?
Right.
Every video on YouTube about RPA. That's how serious he was. Okay, so
Yeah, and
this
Joseph was that
Mhm.
Joseph at one time was like grilling me with all sort of RPA questions.
Yes.
I replied it right. I was like, man, where are you getting these questions?
Yeah, yeah. Like I could clearly see that this guy has changed. I even told him, like, Joseph, this is not you. Like you could tell, like this, the kind of questions that he's asking. These are very intelligent questions. Before it used to be like some stupid questions you'd ask. Like I was like, okay, well, that's just normal. But this one, like you could get, the guy cleared the interview the following day. That's what it takes, you know. Yeah, so you have to be really, really good. And someone like also some like Purity, no, this for Purity, I'm addressing this to Kelvin Ogaga is a new student in our Kenya Airlift program. We are getting a lot of smart Kenyans coming, and we're going to be training them on these skills, you know, RPA and you know, AI and ML, you know, data science and all that stuff. So these guys, they just came to the US. And Kelvin Purity, she was also an F1 student last year. Okay, so and now she's making good moolah in New York. Okay, she's young, just
Yeah,
she's very young, just like you in her 20s, mid 20s. So yeah, okay.
she, I
And you,
have the right mentorship.
yeah, you see how she's talking like with so much confidence. You think like she's been in this industry for like 15 years. You heard her, right?
Sana, sana, sana.
Yep, that's how you do it. Okay. That's how you do it. Yeah, you come here and you have the brains all like, or keep on saying like me, I like pushing smart people because I know they are smart. All they need is just that extra push. Okay, what do you need to do? Just tell them what they need to do. If you tell them, they'll be good. And we are always there, guys. Like, or me and Paul, I usually tell people like anybody who's working out there for us, right? You set up a meeting with Paul anytime. If you have a question, don't go to the next day when you feel like you overwhelmed or you are not sure of what you are doing. Set up a meeting with Paul. I don't care even if you set up a meeting like the whole day, the whole evening with him. That's fine. That's why he's here, to help you guys. You need to understand these things. You need to go out there and actually deliver to the client. You don't deliver, you can't get it. This is America, man. This is how things work. They pay you well, but you actually have to deliver those projects. You don't, they're gonna fire you the following day. And that's why normally I'm always looking for smart people in our programs. That's why we've set our mocks exams at 80%. Ukipata 79, that's it. You're out. It's what it is. Okay, 80%, that's the benchmark. So if you come to our company and you want to really get a job and for us to help you out, you also have to be good. You don't want to be dealing with someone, even though we are supporting you and Paul is supporting you, and you can't even you can't do anything at the client level, because at the end of the day, we are not going to be doing your job. You have to do the job, right? So that's why it's very, very important, guys. Like, learn what Paul is teaching you. Go to YouTube, learn, keep on learning, man. There's so much to learn in this industry. It pays amazingly well. I'm telling you guys, in about 3 years, you're gonna be senior consultant out there making some really good money. Your financial, status will be up there. More than very few people make a 6-figure salary in this country. Very, very, very few people. Okay, and especially Black people also. Very, very, very few people. So you can imagine where this thing can take you just in a few years down the line. Okay, so all you need to do is just put in the effort because you have the brains. You have the brains, you guys, you all of you have the brains. All you need to do is just that extra push. Extra push. Me, I push students. Sometimes maybe you might feel like, oh, Bob is too much, but you know what? It's because I know what is expected out there. And I'm always pushing because I want the best from you guys. I might look like I'm tough and all that, but just understand that it's because I know the expectation out there in the market. It's tough, but it's doable if you have the right mindset and you have the right brains, the right skills. Okay. You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti show presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you.
Thank you. I think, Bob, it was a very sharp invite, right? We just decided, and then you send them an invite. So thank you. I want to even thank Ben, Pierre, Sam, Levi, Joseph for coming in. It was a pretty sharp plan from us. We didn't have much time. I was even not expecting that you guys would be able to make it. Because I know that you guys have been really working. So yeah, I think before we go into the question session, Bob, we can just start. I'll just share my screen so we can
Oh, yeah.
you know distribute. Yeah. So just to so this is a new initiative which Bob and I thought of doing it, and it was just randomly we decided because we did not do it last year, but yes, since we are getting good set of people who are joining the program and getting benefited, and people who are working, so we just thought that we should be providing them with some sort of an certification which will help them in terms of for any further roles they want to apply, or kind of and let's felicitate them with their because people who have made it have really put in efforts, right? So quickly I'm going to share my screen here, and I have a couple of people to yeah felicitate with. So first of all, I'm starting with Sam. I think he's in the call. So I'll be Bob will share this to you in your personal IDs, so that should be fine. So this is something we've started with all the people who are currently into the market. So first, Sam, I think yeah, it's been a quite while that you have passed out of the program, but yes, we thought that we should give it to you as well. Because you're currently working into the market. So, a lot of virtual applause for all the hard work, and hope you continue doing great.
Thank you, Paul, and nice surprise. It's a good initiative. Appreciate.
Yeah, yeah. So
All
you'll,
right.
you'll get it to your respective emails, so that should be fine.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, welcome. So next we have is Joseph. So again, Joseph, a lot of virtual applause, and I know you have really worked hard, and we had a good connect. I used to tell Bob that Joseph really is working hard, and he has a very good you know eagerness to learn, and the sessions we used to connect. I mean, it's really good. So I hope the learnings make your you know future path more easier, uh, excel more. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Paul. This is really helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Bob,
Next
thank you.
is next is Levy. Yeah. So I know you are still on the hustle, but yes, you should be able to crack it. And yeah, he is really getting some tough interview sessions. I had to just pitch in and create some mock interviews along with him, because the requirements were pretty demanding. Currently, the requirements that I saw he's receiving is not limited only to RPA business analysts. They are actually expecting people who are kind of techno functional. So we he had then Levi, I saw really the hard work you're doing in terms of learning, and I had to literally go and explain him the technicalities, which was which was pretty much new for him. But yes, I think he'll be able to cope up. Hope those sessions were helpful, Levi, and yep, you'll crack it pretty soon.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. My interviews have been really deep.
Yep, yep. I know that. I know that.
You'll
Please.
get
So,
something. You'll get something soon, Levi. Don't worry.
oh, indeed. Yep.
Yep.
This is for Purity. Yeah. So I think we haven't connected much, but yes, we did connect few times. But good that you are doing well. The program did benefit you in learning stuffs. So good luck from our side.
Thank you, Paul.
And the final one is to Ben. Hey Ben, thanks for connecting, bringing out your time and sharing your feedback to the others. So I hope the program really helped you and hope you do well.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Bob. That was quite a good surprise. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh yes, yes, that's nothing much. But yes, anyways, I'll be sharing it to you. Bob will send it to you guys to the respective email addresses so you can have this. Right. So I think yep. If we have any open questions for the existing badge to these people, I think yep we can take them and they can probably try answering few of your queries. So I encourage people in the batch, please go ahead and shoot your queries. If anything to me, I can also try to answer. I mean, this is a pretty amazing session. I have been with this program like how long, Bob? Is it 2 years now?
Yep. I think this is the third year.
Oh my goodness, we started in 2017, 2018.
2018. Yep. I think
Pretty
2018 June, I
August,
believe. Yeah.
August, June, something like that, mid of 2018.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, 3 years, and trust me, this is the first time we have conducted a session like this. Uh, but I'm really feeling privileged that this program which we started has helped. I mean, we had a lot of students. It should surpass 40 plus, I guess, in last 2.5, 3 years. But this 5 to 6 bunch of people who have really made it uh, have really put in their hard work, and I know the preparation that goes in because I personally connect with them for post work support session, whether they are in a client's project or let's say for Levi Joseph while they were preparing. It sometimes takes time. Like for example, I'm giving you an example for what Levi is going through. Certainly the requirement has changed this year in 2021, and he has been getting a lot of bizarre, lot of requirements, lot of senior level post requirements, which requires you to have a good depth of knowledge in RPA. Both functionally he is really good, that's because of the program and a lot of other materials he's learning. But the technical side of it, being into a functional side, you might lag a bit little onto the technical side. But he's been putting a lot of effort in learning the technicalities as well, though he don't get in hands-on on the entire technicality part. But yes, I was trying to give him some theoretical knowledge so that in an interview he doesn't go numb. He at least can talk certain words, theoretically show the interviewer that yes, I being a functional consultant, I know the theoretical part of the technicalities, maybe I don't know the hands-on. That's the perception you need to build in, rather than going and just ignore, unable to answer any sort of technical questions. Because all these, even I was surprised that he is receiving techno functional kind of a role, all these RPA lead, RPA tech lead kind of a thing, solution architect, senior business analyst with some technical expertise and things like that. So yeah, it needs a good amount of preparation. Not sure down the line, the requirements are very fast changing, and with COVID everything has taken a 360-degree upside down. With the IT there is a big revolution already. With the I think this is, they say this is the fourth uh, revolution in IT with respect to this digital hit and this digital perception, that everyone is gaga about going digital. Starting from your small startups to your big tech companies and enterprises. Let's say it's into the finance, let's say it's into the insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, power and gas, any industry that you take, wherever the involvement of IT is there, and no company would run without IT, right? Even manufacturing plants have an IT cell where they maintain all their ERP softwares or CRM tools, right? Even they are trying to put in RPA there, because the dependency on human is pretty much expensive these days compared to the dependency on a platform or on a tool, in terms of your execution cost, lot of factors. We have been studying about RP, and we know why companies are more gaga about RP these days, in terms of extensibility, scalability, and everything that is there, right? So I also, to the people who are there, who are still working, I'll still encourage you that don't stop learning, right? And I know you guys won't. Keep learning, keep hustling new things, because nobody knows how the industry would be. It is changing very drastically. And I was talking to very senior people in my peers and other colleagues, like who are there, let's say, who have 30 plus years of industry experience. They have said that nobody has seen this much of eruption in the IT industry in last 20 30 years. There have been, when Java came into the market, there was a craze. When .NET came into the market, there was a craze. But with this digital craze that is coming, it is like, and with COVID, everything has changed. People are more into digital. There are more opportunities. It's just that you have to know the concept and you have to fit in. And I'm just, if I honestly say that, even I keep on learning, because and excel and push myself and go into one further level. So after RPA, now I'm working into data science field. We are also running a data science program for a couple of students. There are many things to go. RPA is not the final saturation point. RPA is now being integrated with data science, AI, machine learning, deep learning. There's numerous things to learn. If you spend your whole life, you still find new things you can learn of. So yes, keep learning. That would be my thing, because I personally, very fond of learning new things, especially into the technology field, right? So that's what would be my advice. Yes, I'll quickly open up the forum for the existing people to ask any questions, uh, for them to kind of answer. Please go ahead and ask. You should be not be having this session once again.
Okay, before, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Questions? Okay, I saw some chat there. Someone is saying they were not able to see the deck. So I'm trying to log in to the academy. I'm using Kelvin's login credentials. So the presentation deck is here. Can you guys not see it? Like the first lesson right there is RPA BA presentation deck. If you click on it, it will take you to the materials and you can download them. And I also added RPA job interview here. I don't know whether everybody can see it. If not, just let me know so that maybe I can try to fix something, but I think everybody should be able to see that. And there's also all these RPA implementation. By the what is his name? James. James, also you have to, this is part of what you're gonna have to do, okay?
Okay.
As part of the next step before we do the mock interview, you need to be really good. Like this is more of like a job interview.
Yeah.
See, like if you pass my mock interview, you are one step close to getting a job. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, you have to take all these implementation assignments and all that. Get to understand these are real job implementation lessons. So, and you can use I think the instructions are here, the templates are here. So just do your work, man. Go to your UiPath itself, learn also the RPA BA program that it's free. Get ready, man. Just do your work for the next 1 month or so. Then tell me, hey Bob, you know what, I'm ready, and then we can do the mock interview.
Okay.
So you guys, whoever was saying that they don't have the deck is here. In case you can't find it, just let me know. I'll be able to. You can give me a login and I'll check from my end. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. You guys, now you can ask your questions.
Yeah, Paul.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
we can
can,
hear
yeah.
you, Martin.
All right. So, I listened to you and you kind of explained the dynamics between that are unfolding in the RPA business analyst field. And I was just curious. So if you get a role that's a bit of a functional, if I may say so, more of like a hybrid between a conventional BA and a technical and a bit of technical aspect, uh, is the remuneration also the same in the market? Like, do they pay you, or if I would think it's a position would be more challenging if it's more like of a functional as opposed to a conventional BA, or how
Uh,
does it work?
I can answer that because Paul is on the Indian market, so I'm the
Yeah,
one
correct.
on the
Yeah.
US side.
My bad.
Yeah. So when it comes to the pay, really, usually BAs, they usually get paid a little bit more than developers. That's what it normally is, based on what I've seen. But you being more of techno-functional, it doesn't really mean you get paid more. It's just that a little bit. Some clients out there, they are looking for someone who kind of like understands a little bit of both sides. I mean, a little bit of the development. For example, if you are like an RPA business analyst, they would expect you to know a little bit of the development side, but also I've not seen it translating into more of a better pay. Because also see, when you are in the market, sometimes you get a client who is willing to pay you $70 an hour. Sometimes the other client willing to pay you $50. So it's all depends with your negotiation skills. That's how it works. Not you as in us as a company, because we are the ones who usually, Levy can tell you that, right, Levy? So sometimes, you get a client, they are willing to pay this, others, they are willing to pay that. So there's no really like constant rate that you can say, okay, this is the rate for a BA, or this is the rate for a developer, or this is the rate for a techno-functional. So if we can negotiate the rate, or you can negotiate the rate better, you can end up making good money.
Oh,
And
okay.
it all depends with how the client, they are, how much they want to pay most of the time and what they are demanding. But still, there's a lot of roles out there for RPA BAs. For example, like the interview that I just shown you, that interview I just did it the other day, I got it. I normally do these interviews, man, because I have people out there who can help me work on this project. But anyways, so that's a purely BA role. So there's a lot of them out there, but it just happened that Levy just got a few of techno-functional interviews, but you'll still get a lot of BAs roles out there. But it's always good to know a little bit of the technical side. And especially once you get into the industry, just start learning. We also have a developer training, by the way. So yeah, we have that training. If you would want it, we can definitely offer you once you are done with business analyst. We also have data science, because as you see also with RPA, there's a lot of artificial intelligence, machine learning that is, that is integrating with all these RPA stuff. So if that's something that you want to know also as part of your career, because you want to be all round, yeah, we also have that. We have that program running at this time. So, and Paul is the one who does all that stuff. So we have everything for you. If you want to be in this space, RPA, data science, all that good stuff, you are the right place.
And does the market that you are in kind of like determine also a bit of that? Like if you're in New York and somebody is in like Midwest, does that also
I usually don't. Sometimes we usually even see like pay that sometimes you might even get paid well for a project that is, let's say, for example, somewhere in Kansas City than even somewhere in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So to be honest, I don't usually see any trend depending with where you are. It's always like, it all depends with what the client is willing to pay. There's some clients out there who are very generous. They want to pay well. The others who are very stingy, you know. So it all depends.
Sounds good.
Yeah. There are some of them, they will come you and they give us a certain rate and we tell them, no, we are not gonna take that. So, and we reject it. The others, they'll be like, they give you more than even what you would have thought that, you know, you could ask. So it doesn't matter where you are really.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about
Yes,
just the job market.
mm-hmm.
Do you find that a lot of jobs require you to move to their location, or are there some are mostly or are they mostly you can do it virtually?
All jobs right now, yeah, they are all remote, and I think this COVID, it was a blessing in disguise to some extent, especially in the tech space. A lot of jobs, they've gone remote. Like everybody's working remote really in IT. So we are getting a lot of requirements even that are remote even after COVID. Okay. So there's very high chance that you could end up just working from your house. You don't have to go anywhere. Others, maybe you have to travel back and forth. Some clients, they pay for your air ticket. You travel Monday through Thursday, you come back home. That's consulting life. So others may want you to relocate. If you don't feel like relocating, that's fine. You can still look for a project close to where you are. But yeah, so that's what you have to deal with. But there's a lot of remote opportunities, a lot of them right now, a lot.
Okay, thanks.
Did I answer your question, James?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So any other questions? Else
Questions,
I would
guys?
be,
Questions?
yeah. Yep. So else I'll be putting one question for the from Ben, Levy, Purity, Sam, just for the interest of others. But yes, you can ask first. Else I'll be doing it.
So no one has a question for these guys who are currently working.
I do. Guys, when you landed on your first project, where did you get your templates from for the SDD, PDDs, or do companies offer you that, or do you have to buy your own templates, and the kind of software you're using at work also? Thank you.
Directed to anyone in particular?
Yes, anyone, yes.
All right.
Forum, yeah.
Maybe I'll just give a comment. So my experience, it really depends, varies from company to company. Of course, it's always good when you're getting into a project, be prepared. You know, most of your work is going to revolve around PDD creation, for instance. So at least have your own templates, and they are readily available. If you go to UiPath site, you always get a template there, that and many other templates. So it's good to just have yours for the sake of learning and getting yourself familiar to what things are like when you get a project. But eventually, the first steps, of course, when you're starting a project, is to find out whether they have their own in-house templates and how they do their thing. Then if they ask you to bring what you have, then you can go to whatever that you have in your back pocket. I hope I answered you.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. So pretty much just to add on to what he said, yeah, those tools are available templates online for UiPath, but you'll find them, especially if there's an established center of excellence in the company where you're going. You can always ask them if they have those in-house tools as part of your toolkit. But as far as the other tools you're gonna be using to do your process maps, Visio, you can also use PowerPoint, and or some companies may have their preferred tool. So those are some of the tools.
Yeah, and to touch on that, we also have we have some a lot of materials for these other tools, like for example Jira that you use in a project. You know, once you pass our mock interview, we give you access to that as well. We have access to Jira, we have access to Microsoft Visio, because you need to know how to create those you know, workflow diagrams, right? We have we know also, because there's America, there's a lot of people, they've never been worked in corporate America, you know, the way things usually are, right? So like we have all that, you know, how to use Outlook, how to create, you know, set up meetings and stuff like that. These are things that you probably think that they are not very important, but when you're working as a senior consultant, you're expected to know these things, you know. Paul didn't show you how to create workflow diagrams, but you have to know, right? You have to know how to use Jira tool, you know, to track issues, stuff like that. So we have all that. We give you access to that once you pass your mock interview, and you can start learning them. Before you get to the project, of course, you'll have known how to use all these stuff, and also how to use Microsoft Word and all that stuff. So all the tools that are needed for you to actually be able to do the job, we give you all that access to that materials. I have them. Right. Yeah. And of course, the company will have them. So they expect you to know how to use it. So we also, me and Paul, we keep on trying to see how we can improve the program as much as we can, especially if you're getting like really smart people, because we've been in the industry, we know exactly what is expected. Paul being someone who has worked as a solution architect, me being someone who has worked as a lead in project, we understand exactly what is expected. And let's say, for example, if we have, if we've hired someone who is a business analyst working under us, we know exactly what we would expect from that kind of a, you know, that kind of a consultant. So based on that, then we need to provide the tools and resources that are necessary for that person to succeed. So we provide you with that. We'll keep on getting all those tools that are needed, you know, train you on all of them once you are done with your mock, once you prove yourself in the program initially, and so that now when you go out there to the market, you will be good, you know? Yeah. Okay, so any other question? There's usually one guy who usually asks a lot of questions. I like him asking questions. What is his name? Stephen or Steve-O? Today is quiet.
No, I am here.
Okay.
Yes, the question that I have for the people that are already in the field is about the challenges that they encounter. Since this is a high-paced course, you know, you finish quickly and you get into the job market quickly, and you know, some of us have not been in the
I think we lost you. We lost you, Steve. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
I
hear you.
can. Yes.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
only person we can't hear is Steve. We've lost Steve.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You're back.
Okay. Yes, I was asking what kind of challenges that they get at the job site when they start off.
Yeah, so that was actually the question I wanted to put, a good one. So I'll just rephrase for the others as well. So, yeah, so Ben, Sam, Purity, if you can talk about one of the challenges that you have faced while working for any of the project in a very nutshell, and what has helped you to overcome that? Like, what sort of a challenge it was, and how did you overcome? So I think that would be a proper, what Steve is also looking for.
And by the way, that's a very good interview question. Yes.
No, I don't put it as an interview part, but just kind of, for others to benefit, because this will bring 3 to 4 different issues that you face on RPA. Like,
Yep.
let's say somebody says, I never knew how to, use a PDD. So people in the batch can now understand, okay, PDD is a very important tool concept. I need to know about it. I mean, I just gave a very toy example, but yes, please go ahead.
I can start. I can answer that question. So, but this is only from my own experience. So, when I first joined the company, or when most people or most BAs join the company, they don't give you like processes like automatically. They don't give you like, we want you to automate this process, and then you have to appraise and do a deep dive and create the PDD. In organization, it doesn't work like that. So for us, you're given like a department. They call it like specialties. So sometimes you're like with radiology, or sometimes you're with pathology, and they tell you to go into these departments and then figure out processes that you can automate and do it end to end. And at the same time, we're given like targets. They tell you we need like two, we call them business cases, but in your case, maybe we'd call them PDDs. So they want you to get like two PDDs in a week. You get it in, and it has to be like a certain value. So basically, they feel like we are paying you like 120,000 annually. They want you to present business cases of kind of that same value so that they can justify why they've employed you. That's why the turnover is very high in the organization. So the challenge that I'm facing is sometimes you go into the department and then you ask for a process that, you know, that you'd want them to automate. So basically, human nature, when they hear of automation, they think you're coming to steal our jobs. And this is like a big challenge within the RPA industry. So most people are not really, you know, they're not really, especially by working remotely, you haven't really connected with these people. For instance, for me, I got the job like during the pandemic. So I've been working remotely from the beginning. So I haven't had a chance like to connect with anybody one-on-one. I'm connecting with people virtually. So it's hard to get the contact person, like who am I supposed to speak to so that I can get this process? And then who is this me, that's the subject matter expert of this process. And to get this subject matter expert to guide you through this process end to end, it's hard for you to tell this person that, yeah, I want to automate the job that you're doing, especially if the department does not have a buy-in. So they don't understand what we are trying to do, because apparently the RPA program is a different program within the organization. And because it's a huge company, it's a huge organization, most people don't know the initiatives that are happening within the company. So when you go there to tell them that you're automating, they have never heard of such a thing, and they're wondering what kind of initiative this is, and you're coming to steal our jobs. And your department, your bosses are waiting for the PDD to be complete, and it has to be of this certain value. And you're depending on these people who think you're coming to steal their jobs to give you this process and to be of this volume. And sometimes they don't even give you the volume that you need. You can send emails after emails, or you can call people. And sometimes it's very, very hard to get them to sort of go along with you, like to be able to support you in this. And so you find yourself having to bring your own boss to come and speak to them. You have to escalate these issues a lot. So, and even if you escalate, you still have to work with these subject matter experts to get the job done. So it was very, very difficult in the beginning, to be honest. And I've seen so many of my colleagues leave the organization because of that, because they can't deliver. They want you to deliver 100,000 worth of process of automation, but you're not able to because of something you can't help. Because at the end of the day, this is a team effort. You can't do it alone. You need the subject matter experts to support you. You need your own people to support you. So that was the biggest challenge that I faced, especially in the beginning. But right now, because I know a few people within the industry and I'm confident, and I've learned how to, sort of respond to some of these questions and make them see that at the end of the day, it's for their own benefit, then you're able to sort of, go through successfully. But initially it was very difficult for me. Yep, that was the challenge.
Nice one.
So,
Well articulated.
yeah. So just to add, Purity, actually, I did not expect this answer, but this is, I can relate to it because probably I started RPA in 2016. But whatever you have currently told, I have, quote unquote, I have faced it word by word,
Mm-hmm.
because the concept of RPA, when came into the market earlier, when people started automating functional work,
Yeah.
yes, there was a sense of fear in the people who are into the functional role,
Yeah.
because they think if you want to automate, that means you are eating out the job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mindset and the perception the functional people have. And whatever you have said, like, sending out reminders, they don't cooperate with you, you get frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
your deadlines are missed, you set up meet. And I have seen, and I have experienced this in my previous organization. A lot of escalations have gone even to the regional director, the country head, because they run a digital program. What you said is absolutely correct, because RPA, and trust me guys, if you are into RPA, you will be dealing with the top management very soon, because RPA is a is a funded project that comes in every company from a digital perspective from the top management. In some companies it is from the CXO level, because RPA needs a huge investment. It's the CXOs who gets directly involved, or your country heads or regional heads, top directors get involved, because they need a return on investment of the money that they have spent. So your RPA COE has to directly report out the benefits to those top management. So the deadlines, implementation, the number of bots that you are developing, the outcomes are pretty strict and stringent. But what happens, what Purity is saying, that when you, because RPA cannot work in association without any association from the operations or the business team. There's no chance at all. Because the concept that you are, the process or the project that you are trying to automate is nothing but a business task, right? And unless and until the domain expert works with you, they help you to understand the project, they help you to understand the process step by step. What are the flaws, what are the drawbacks, what's the current process demand is, you cannot make your PDD, analysis as a business analyst proper. And the task of business analyst, 80% of the time you invest is with the business and the SME or the subject matter expert, because your job is to get a very good grasp of the process. The moment you are in the process, and I have seen very smart business analysts, an SME teaches them or trains them about the process, 3 weeks, bang on, they are much better in the process. And I have seen people who have identified, so every process that you work for, right? I'll just take a minute extra. So every process that you work for a client, the client would have signed an SOP. We call it a standard operating procedure. Every functional process of every organization on a majority has an SOP, which your organization would have agreed. Let's say you're working for an insurance client, and you are from an ABC consulting company. Now your company would have obviously agreed and signed up a document that, okay, this your reporting, let's say it's a reporting process, it's a billing process. So how the process would flow, there is an SOP that is signed on. Now, when the process was, training was given to the SME, the business analyst by the SME, and he shared the SOP, the business analyst was intelligent enough to understand the process and see the SOP, and then he found, okay, so there is a loophole. So actually, the operations guy have cut down the number of steps which is there in the SOP, so that they can process as many transactions as possible. So they found that there were some billings where it has gone bizarre with terms of calculation. Now the business analyst who found it is not the person or authentic person or authorized person to complain against it, because it will go for a huge escalation. So he spoke to his manager, and his manager then took a call, and he directly contacted the business head of that operations team, and they conveyed it in a different way. But they wanted that this you know cut down of the process which the operations have done should not be happening. Later on, I heard that the operation lead was penalized. I mean, he was given a warning letter kind of a thing. But this is how it was. So he was intelligent enough that when he understood the process what the SME has explained, and he read the entire SOP, he found that there is a loophole. So his question was genuine. So how do I design my automation? Should I go with what the SME is talking about, the process, which is like, let's say 20 out of 20 steps in the SOP, the SME is telling, okay, we do only these 10 steps. So shall I consider those 10 steps to automate my process, which is beyond my business contract? or shall I go with the SOP? Because if I go with the SOP, then the SME will not give me a sign off. So these are the real time challenges, which you encounter. But what Purity has told, I've experienced it. So it's not, all projects are not same. You'll find good people, you know at least by now, every functional team or everybody in the business has known about RPA. So companies now involve the functional teams, their black belts, the functional managers as well. And I've seen companies where, you know organizations make it as a goal. So whoever is the functional manager, so let's say I'm a team, I'm a manager, and I'm leading a billing team. So organization makes it, every company sets a goal for their employees, right? So to tackle that, one of certain companies have taken some good steps. So they have made a goal as a part of the career goal for that financial year of that manager. They have said that, okay, you have to implement 5 bots in one financial year, and that's been added to that functional manager's goal, from the top management. Now that guy having 5 bots implementation as part of his goal will now not ditch the digital team, or people like Purity, who was a business analyst, reaching out to them for automation, because he knows that to get a good rating or a good performance, he also has to complete his goal. He has to also show that he has implemented 5 bots. So he will in turn start cooperating with business analysts, start cooperating with people like Purity who are working in that role, and make it a more smoother journey. So these things are coming up. So I mean, it was there 2 3 years back, but yes, might be Purity would have faced a certain specific client and process where people were not aware of it. But slowly people are learning about it. There are multiple ways that it's been tackled on. But yes, these are the experiences, real time, that comes to you. It's this you can sometimes you question yourself, like somebody who is not able to meet the deadline. You will think that, okay, I know everything. I have worked hard, I have learned all the knowledge, I have the skills, but still I was not able to meet the deadline, because sometimes it's not you, but it's the circumstances around you which doesn't let you make, do things. So these are the challenges real time that will come on any client you work on. So that's a very very good one. There was a term, there was a lot of articles that was written in 2017, when people started facing this issue, and they used to call it a cultural shock. That was the term that was very prominent in 2017. They used to call it as a cultural shock, because that shift from that mindset to automation was not there with people across the globe. So that's a very good point, right? Thank you, Purity, for explaining that. I think people can make a mindset now that such kind of challenges do exist, and you should be mentally prepared rather than brushing. I mean, apart from brushing up your skills.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, right. So, yeah, anything else from Ben, Sam, quickly, if you can share anything in a minute or
Yeah,
so?
yeah, yeah.
Please
Yeah,
go.
I think she covered most of the stuff. Of course, cultural shock is one, but be willing to ask everything about the culture. So you understand who the people, the decision makers are, what tools they are using, whether they are working with Agile, whether they are working with the Jira, and what their sprints are. Again, if it's in terms of Agile, they have what they call sprints or iterations. Be willing to inquire about the tools in place. And then the people that are the decision makers. Once you identify those, including the SMEs, then your job will be much easier. But as she did mention, competing interests are always going to be there. So it's upon you now to chase the people that are going to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. And the sooner you identify those people, the smoother your transition is going to be. But again, have that confidence, leverage on your strengths, as was previously mentioned, and you will be good. You'll overcome, because everybody has a learning curve. You're in a new organization. You just need to immerse yourself and learn the new organization. There's going to be new things to learn. That's given. So it's upon you now to immerse yourself and identify the people that are going to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah.
Great.
That's really a very good point. Thanks for adding. Right. So
I don't
anything
think there's
from
anything else unless someone else has something to say.
right, absolutely.
Kelvin, you don't have something to say?
Oh, I don't have something to say. Let me learn first. But the meeting has been a blessing.
No problem.
Yeah.
Trying to pull your leg. You are new in the US, so.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. I think that's it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you
Thanks
very much.
everyone for
Bye.
joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstake America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.